Your school starts at 10? That,
Her closed the New York Film Festival in 2013, which was a pretty immense amount of pressure, which luckily led up to one of the coolest world premieres ever. How was it when you were enabling filmmakers back in 2020, was it, to kind of have their own like film festival debut? And what was it like to be on the panel end of that versus not showing your own work?
I just remember it was during COVID, so it was, I think everyone was feeling very, isolated, and it was this incredible group of filmmakers, and just getting to talk to them about their work and talk to them about, giving them feedback or asking them questions in terms of why they did what they did. There was just so much talent and so much like really thoughtful intention behind the films, and I just always am so blown away when there's people in high school who are making stuff that is so complete and thoughtful and intentional. When I look at what I made in high school, like me and my friends on like camcorders just like cutting stuff together, and it was so bad. It's just so like we never had a plan, we never had a script, we just sort of make stuff up, and it kind of like it ended when we got tired. There wasn't like a beginning and middle and end to it. But so I look at what all the students were doing in that film festival, and I was just so blown away that at that age they're already telling stories that are so compelling.
I know that one of my friends who was able to work with you said that it was a very like awesome experience. I also just How was the virtual element of that film festival that year?
Yeah, it was surprisingly not distracting doing it on Zoom. I guess at that point we'd been a few months into COVID, so we're kind of getting used to it. But no, I didn't think it was. I always like having conversations in person. It's always like easier. There's something that I just like. You just get to sort of bounce off each other a little more and feel each other a little more. But but I thought the film festival was pretty incredible. It pulled off really, really well in terms of. I'm trying to remember. There's multiple things we did, but maybe it was just that we did multiple calls with different filmmakers. But yeah, it was fun.
Oh, okay. So now these are some non-film festival related questions, which is between photography, skate videography, music videos, films, TV, creating Vice Media, watching Johnny Knoxville getting kicked in the nuts, commercial videography, founding Girl Skateboards, and philanthropy, you have not placed yourself in a creative or just like box in your work. So how do you continue to explore new mediums, and what would your advice be to artists to kind of keep pushing themselves to explore those mediums?
I think, fortunately, I was just naturally curious and stayed curious. And so I was always interested in new things that were being created and new people making things and, new artists that excited me. And then secondly, in terms of going into working in different mediums, I think for me, more than like being drawn to like filmmaking or a specific medium, I think it was always about an idea. It was always about a feeling, and like capturing a feeling in whatever I was working on, or at least having the ambition of like a feeling that I was trying to capture. And whether it's in photo, or it's a short story, or it's in a short film, or it's a movie, or a documentary, or whatever, any other thing, it's always just there's some feeling that I'm trying to capture in what I'm making.
If you were to most accurately depict your life in any of these media forms, which one would you choose and why?
If I had to pick a media form to depict my life in, a puddle.
A puddle?
Yeah.
Why a puddle?
I don't know, it just feels right.
God. This is another one of those long list things. You've directed killer music videos for Daft Punk, Sonic Youth, Biggie, Jay-Z, Kanye West, Arcade Fire, Carano, the Beastie Boys, Lady Gaga, Bjork, and on and on. Are there any new musicians who you would want to direct for?
I don't know. Every now and then I see an artist that just is really compelling, and beyond just music, just their presence is really compelling. And somebody at work showed me this artist Doechii, this girl, and she seemed like she'd be really compelling to make a video with. Or obviously Billie Eilish. I took my niece to see her. Yeah, I would say, Billie Eilish was incredible. We saw her at the Forum. She's just a force of nature, and I just can't wait to see all the things she makes.
You've also made the very sick documentary and working with the Beastie Boys. If you were to create a band, what role do you think you would have in that band, and what other creatives would you want to place in that band with you?
If I was in a band, well, I mean, it'd be. I don't think I would, because I think I'd bring anybody down. I'm not that good of a musician, so I think I would sink the boat.
I doubt you would sink the boat, but if you were to create a band, are there any people, whether those be people in your life or people that you've worked with, that you think like, hey, this could make a good Beastie Boys-esque group?
I think I would start, if I was a band, I would just be me and Wolfpack.
Oh, Wolfpack.
I think Wolfpack would be the lead singer. She'd carry the band. I'd just sort of be in the background, like playing keyboard or something. Playing keyboard badly, but I think even if I played keyboard badly, I think Wolfpack could carry it. Yeah,
like isn't it? Gorillaz is like technically 4 virtual members, but it's run by that one guy. So it's like Wolfpack would be running like the whole band. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, and she's pretty humble, so maybe she would want to put some like animated animals as the front man. She just chill behind them.
Chill, mind her business. Okay, and then the last question would be, if you have any advice for young filmmakers or kind of even young audience members who are going to experience the film festival that you'd like to share?
Well, I'm not sure about audience members, but filmmakers. I would say just, what would I say? I guess I said this before, but like once I realized that like the things that were maybe more embarrassing to me were actually where the good stuff was, that like I think that was really freeing. Like when I first started making music videos, I was making music videos that kind of looked like other people's music videos, and then at a certain point in time I had this idea that I thought was kind of maybe silly or goofy, and but I handed it in and to the woman who represented me for music videos. Her name's Danielle, and then she's like, oh, let's send this one in, and then we handed it to the label and the artist, and they wanted to do it, and it was the first time I don't know, I was like self-conscious about it because I thought it would like be like too silly or goofy, or kind of felt like something that I would make with my friends in high school, but like the idea, but then once I started making it, I loved it. And I don't know, just that making things that throughout, like whenever you're making something, you're like, oh, I don't know if this is a good idea to show. It probably is a good idea. It's probably like if it's embarrassing or revealing or really personal or showing some part of yourself that you're embarrassed of or ashamed of, or like that's always where that's where you're gonna really connect with something you make and connect with people that are watching it.